3 weeks before my wedding, I found a receipt in my fiancé's jacket pocket. A receipt for a crib. We didn't have a baby. We weren't even trying. I stood in our bedroom, holding that piece of paper like it was going to explode in my hands. And in a way, it did. Because that one receipt was about to unravel 4 years of my life. If you've ever had a gut feeling you tried to ignore because the truth felt too big to face, stay with me. Because what I found next wasn't just a secret. It was an entire second life. My name isn't important. What happened to me could happen to anyone who loves someone so much they forget to ask the right questions. This is the story of the man I almost married, and the family he never told me about. For years ago, I met Adrian at a mutual friend's birthday party. He wasn't the loudest guy in the room, but he was the one who remembered everyone's drink order without being asked. That's the kind of person he was, attentive, in a way that made you feel like the only person in the room. We fell in love the way people do in movies. Slow at first. Then all at once. Within 8 months, we moved in together. Within 2 years, we were talking about forever. Adrian worked as a regional sales manager, which meant he traveled a lot. 3, sometimes 4 days a week, driving between cities for client meetings. I never questioned it. Why would I? He always called before bed. He always brought back small gifts, a keychain from one city, a box of local sweets from another. He made the distance feel like devotion. Our friends called us the steady couple. The ones who never fought. Never posted dramatic breakup makeup stories. Never gave anyone a reason to worry. My mother adored him. My sister said he was the calm in my chaos because I've always been the anxious one, the overthinker, the one who needed reassurance. Adrian gave me that reassurance like it was easy for him. Looking back now, I think that's exactly what should have worried me. Nothing is ever that easy. 18 months ago, he proposed on a weekend trip to the coast. Down on one knee, ring in hand, the whole ocean behind him like a backdrop he'd personally requested. I said yes before he even finished the sentence. We started planning immediately. A wedding in the fall. Family flying in from 3 different countries. A venue we'd booked a year in advance because it was the only place I'd ever imagined getting married. I spent the last year of my life color-coding seating charts and comparing floral arrangements. I didn't know that while I was picking out centerpieces, Adrian was living a life I knew nothing about. I want to be clear about something. I wasn't a fool. I wasn't naive. I was a woman who trusted the person she loved because he had never, not once, given me a reason not to. Until the receipt. It started small. The kind of small you explain away before it even fully registers as strange. Adrian started taking calls outside. Every time. Even in winter, even in the rain, he'd step onto the balcony, phone pressed to his ear, voice low. When I asked who it was, he always had an answer ready. Work. My manager. A client being difficult about the contract. I believed him because why wouldn't I? Then came the phone. He'd always left it face up on the counter, ringer on, nothing to hide. About 4 months before the wedding, that changed. Face down. Silent. Password added where there hadn't been one before. I told myself people are allowed privacy. I told myself 4 years of trust doesn't disappear because of a phone lock screen. But then his trips got longer. What used to be 2 nights became 4. What used to be, I'll call you before bed, became, sorry, meetings ran late, talk tomorrow. The gifts stopped coming back with him. He said he was tired. He said work was draining him. He said a lot of things that, individually, sounded reasonable. Together, they told a different story. I just wasn't ready to read it yet. My sister noticed before I let myself notice. He's been weird lately, she said one night over dinner. Distant. Like his mind's somewhere else. I defended him immediately. He's stressed about the wedding. Men get weird before weddings too, you know. I said that with total confidence. I believed it completely. 3 months before the wedding, I found a hotel loyalty card in his laundry, not from the city. He said he'd traveled to that week, but from a smaller town 4 hours away, a town I'd never heard him mention once in 4 years of dating. When I asked, he laughed it off. Oh, that's an old card. Must have been in that jacket for months. I let it go. Not because I believed him completely, but because the wedding was 90 days away, my dress was already altered, and some small, cowardly part of me didn't want to pull a thread that might unravel everything I had built my future around. I think a lot of women understand that particular kind of fear. Not the fear of losing someone, the fear of admitting you were wrong about someone you built your whole life plan around. So I stopped asking questions. I convinced myself that peace was more important than proof. That peace lasted exactly 6 more weeks. It was a Tuesday. Ordinary in every way, except for the fact that I was doing laundry and reached into the pocket of Adrian's gray jacket, the one he wore on his work trips, looking for loose change before I washed it. Instead, I found a folded receipt. Crib assembly service. Paid in cash. Address for delivery. An apartment complex in that same small town from the hotel card. I stood there for a long time. Long enough that the washing machine finished its cycle and started beeping without me hearing it. A part of me, the part that had spent a year planning centerpieces and seating charts, tried to build an innocent explanation. Maybe it was for a coworker's baby shower. Maybe he was helping a friend move furniture. I have never wanted so badly to believe something so flimsy. But there was an address. And addresses don't lie the way people do. I didn't confront him that night. I did something I'm not proud of, but I don't regret. I looked up the address. It took less than 10 minutes to find a name attached to that apartment. A woman named Selena, 29 years old, based on a public social media profile that hadn't been touched in privacy settings. Her profile picture was from 6 months ago. She was holding a newborn. The caption read, "Our little miracle, 3 months early but so strong. Daddy already spoils her rotten." I read that caption maybe 15 times before the words stopped rearranging themselves into some innocent explanation. Adrian had a daughter, with another woman, while he was choosing a wedding cake with me. I scrolled further. Photos of Selena and Adrian together stretched back over 2 years, almost exactly as long as our own relationship had been serious. Beach trips, birthday dinners. A photo from 8 months ago of the two of them at what looked like a small courthouse, both dressed formally, captioned simply, "Best day of my life. Finally, officially yours." I want you to sit with that for a second, the way I had to. While Adrian was proposing to me on a cliff by the ocean, he may have already been married to someone else. Or engaged to her at the very least, in some version of commitment I was never told about. I didn't sleep that night. I sat at our kitchen table with my laptop open until 4 in the morning, building a timeline. Every work trip, every unexplained call, every excuse he'd fed me over 4 years, laid out next to dates and photos that told the real story underneath it. By sunrise, I had 11 months of overlapping timelines. 11 months where he had, as far as I could piece together, been actively building a family with another woman while planning a wedding with me. When Adrian came downstairs that morning, humming to himself as he made coffee, I didn't cry. I didn't yell. I simply turned my laptop screen toward him. He looked at it for 3 full seconds before his face changed. Not with confusion. With the particular kind of stillness that comes from being caught, not surprised. "It's not what it looks like," he said. I have never in my life heard a sentence so immediately and completely proven false by everything that came after it. What followed was the longest conversation of my life, though it only lasted about 40 minutes. Adrian didn't deny the child. He couldn't. The photos did that work for me. What he tried to deny was the timeline, insisting he'd only gotten serious with Selena 8 months ago, well after our engagement, as though that somehow made it a smaller betrayal instead of a second one stacked on the first. I asked him directly, "Are you married to her?" He hesitated just long enough for me to know the answer before he said it. "It's complicated. It's not legally official yet. We just did a ceremony for her family." A ceremony. For her family. While wearing the ring I'd helped him pick out for himself, 3 months into an engagement to me. I asked why. Not why he cheated. I wasn't naive enough to expect a satisfying answer to that. But why continue planning a wedding with me at all, knowing what he knew? His answer is the part of this story that still sits heaviest with me. He said, "I didn't want to lose either of you. I thought I could figure it out before the wedding." Figure it out. As if I were a scheduling conflict. As if 4 years of my life were a logistics problem he hadn't gotten around to solving. I asked about Selena. Did she know about me? He went quiet again, and that silence told me everything. She didn't know. She believed she was his only partner, likely believed their small courthouse ceremony made her his wife, was raising his newborn daughter believing she had built a family with a man who was, at the very same time, choosing wedding invitations with someone else. 2 women. 2 entire futures. Built on the same set of lies, just told with different faces. I didn't scream. I didn't throw anything, though I understand completely why some people in my position would. I simply asked him to leave. Not just the conversation, the apartment, the wedding, the life we had built a shared name for in every seating chart and guest list I'd spent a year perfecting. He tried to reach for my hand. I stepped back before he could. "I need you to go," I said. "And I need you to tell her the truth. Not for me, for her daughter." He left that night with 2 suitcases and a version of himself I no longer recognized as the man I'd said yes to on a cliff by the ocean. I canceled the venue the next morning. 91 guests, 3 countries, 1 entire year of planning, undone in a single phone call that took 4 minutes. I won't pretend the aftermath was clean or cinematic. There was no dramatic public confrontation, no viral moment of justice. Just quiet, unglamorous grief, the kind that shows up in the form of returned wedding gifts and awkward conversations with relatives who'd already booked flights. I did reach out to Selena, eventually, though it took me weeks to find the courage. Not to hurt her. She had already been hurt enough without knowing it. But because I believed she deserved the truth from someone, even a stranger, even the woman her partner had also been planning to marry. She didn't respond for 11 days. When she finally did, it was 1 line, "Thank you for telling me." I already suspected something. I don't know what happened between them after that. I chose not to follow it. Some stories aren't mine to keep watching. What I do know is this. I spent a year planning a wedding for a man who was building an entirely different life a 4-hour drive away. And somewhere in that same year, another woman was doing the exact same thing, just with different photographs on her phone. We were never rivals. We were both being lied to by the same person at the same time in the same way. It's been 8 months since that Tuesday with the crib receipt. I'm not going to tell you I've fully healed, because healing like this doesn't move in a straight line. But I will tell you I no longer check phones, or question every business trip, or shrink my own instincts to keep someone else comfortable. The gut feeling I ignored for months was right the entire time. It's always worth listening to. If this story taught me anything, It's this: peace built on a lie isn't peace at all. It's just borrowed time. I stayed quiet for months because I was afraid that asking questions would break something I'd spent years building. But the truth doesn't disappear just because you refuse to look at it. It just waits, patiently, until it can't be ignored anymore. Trust your instincts. Not out of paranoia, but out of self-respect. The people who truly love you will never make you question your own reality. And if someone you love is building a life you're not fully part of, you deserve to know. Not eventually. Now. Because the truth always comes out. The only choice you have is whether you find it on your own terms, or someone else finds it for you.